throw the zingers like that. Well, Chuck's got some smiles on his face, which I wouldn't have expected after standing in line for how long were you out there?
I don't know. It was a while.
I apologize.
No, it's all right. You're lucky I like you.
I know that.
I was debating. I can leave. I think.
I think I can wave a little bit.
See, I would have thought they would have put you to the front of the line.
I would have too.
I know, because sometimes, when you're not smiling, don't take this the wrong way, but you're kind of scary looking. You got to look crazy when you're not smiling, and then it totally changes,
I get that a lot.
It's worked for you.
I used to get that all the time. People tell me, hey, look, you need to smile. Everyone thinks you're mad.
You look at your pictures online, you look like you're going to kill somebody.
So I don't know if I should say this publicly, and if I say it and you're mad and you punch me, I deserve it. But, when people don't know you, they think that. And then when you get to know you, you really are a teddy bear. I mean, you really are a super cool, down to earth.
Well, yeah, and it actually works. It works good for me. Like I meet people and say hi to them, and I'm polite, and they'll brag about how nice I was. I have to go to my friends. Like, what did you do? They said you were so nice, and I'm like, I said hi. I said my name. I don't know. Said hello. Said bye. I don't.
Shook their hand. I don't know.
Shook their hand. I guess they didn't bite their.
I didn't body slam them, so they thought it was nice.
What do you think? And we haven't talked in a little while. We've been friends a long time, and I remember asking you and Randy, and don't get mad, Tito. Back in the day, what happens if MMA and the UFC, which is the NFL of MMA, gets to the level where we want it to be? And you all said, it'll be the same, it'll be this, it'll be that. Are you surprised that it's gotten to the level that it's at? And when I asked Dana, he said, it really didn't happen overnight. It took time.
Oh, it took a lot of time. And, honestly, if it wasn't for, back before the Ultimate Fighter, that was a last ditch effort to really pump it up and get it out there, get out to general media, get people to actually take a chance on it. And and since then it's exploded. I mean, I always thought it's the greatest sport in the world. So I always thought it'd get there, and everyone likes watching fights, but if you get there, but I always thought it'd take a lot longer than it did. So, but and it's even exploded. I said that a while back. Even that, it's exploded faster than I thought it would.
Do you ever think it'll get to the Olympics?
I don't know. I mean, that's always a different thing. I mean, because it's hard to translate it into the amateur sport. Because I mean, even the amateurs I see, like most of the amateur fights are just guys doing the same thing but not getting paid. No. There's not much of a difference. There's no headgear. There's sometimes they'll have shin pads on or something, but that's not that much of a help. So I don't know.
See, because Matt asks all the time, and I'm like, it's just a different sport. Even though boxing, they can do it and they can still fight and whatever. But MMA, you have a tendency to get hurt more. Whether it's the arm or the leg or the knee or whatever. And I don't know if you can go full force. I mean, you were back in the day when it was the tournament, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's a little different too. Like it's not like boxing. Amateur boxing and pro boxing, those are different animals.
Right.
You can be like a great Olympic boxer and not actually translate into. I mean, it's get knocked out. I saw one in where was it? By Fresno, the Indian casino out there. I was out there watching a fight. This kid was like a gold medalist. He was, fighting on whatever the show was, and he's fighting a guy that was 12-12. Came in with his coach holding the water bucket, and he had his whole fan for it. And this kid could hit, man. He was getting dotted up, but first round I kept going, man. If he lands one of those, Jesus, and I dropped him right there. I hit him. Shocked him right at the end of the first round. By the end of the second round, he was out cold. He's one of those guys like padded record. Coming off of being
What makes it change? I mean, do you think it's a mindset?
Well,
how can somebody be so good?
Power and speed. I mean, it's more. You're rewarded for the speed and more for speed technique and amateur boxing than you are. I mean, pro. A lot of those guys, if you don't hit hard enough, a lot of those, they don't hit hard enough to hurt. To scare that other guy or keep him from I'm ready for this. They go out there and punch him. I'm going to beat him up. I mean, that thing that Howard Davis Jr. Problem he had. He just didn't have enough power.
No power.
Because I mean, he had the dubious honor of being of that boxing class. He was the most outstanding boxer.
Right.
in the Olympics.
Yeah.
But he had the dubious honor of being the only gold medalist that year that never won a world title.
That didn't go and succeed. I ask a lot of.
He did well, but he just never made it. He never quite. He just got those last guys who, and they figure out that he's just outpointing them and go, oh, okay, hold on, I'll take a few punches.
Right. Just to nail them. I've asked a lot of, older legends. I remember I asked Otto Graham, who was the highest paid player in the NFL 2 years in a row. I said, did you ever think about what if you played today? And some athletes, they take it, the wrong way, and they're, yeah, I wished I would have played. Have you thought about, if you were 20 years, 25 years younger, and the Iceman fought today?
Well, the biggest thing I think would have happened, I would have had a lot more fights. I would have fought a lot more because I would have stayed active because most, like I was ready to go. Like I've had fights where, it just depends on what the fight is, but a lot of times I'm happy to fight again. I got Randleman and Guy Metzger in 3 weeks. I knocked out minute 18. I knocked out Randleman, and then they came and asked me, "Do you want to fight in Japan in 3 weeks?" And I'm like, "Perfect." I take 1 week off and 1 week to get put in a game plan, and 1 week back to fighting.
Yeah.
Actually, I loved it.
Because back then, not the heyday, the beginning of the UFC, it was like every 3 months, every 4 months, 6 months. During my career, I figured out I averaged about, 5 fights every 2 years.
I've got to wonder.
That's crazy.
Chuck,
and now guys are doing 5 fights in 9 months.
It's and you're credited, of course, with bringing MMA to the mainstream of America. That's widely credited for that. But if we didn't have it, what would you have done instead?
I would have been. I probably would have. I had a degree in accounting, so I probably would have got a real job for a little while at least. I don't know.
A degree. Chuck Liddell has a degree in accounting. I would have never guessed that, though. See, that's what I mean by like you look at you and you're just until you get to know you. Totally different person than what people might think.
When Nick One Kick actually asked me if I want to do a mixed fight, that was my first mixed fight I did. Okay. Because my friend Alfie Alcaraz told him, he's like, hey, so Nick knew I had wrestled. And he goes, hey, Alfie says you're a pretty good wrestler. You want to do a mixed fight? I'm like, sure, why not? So we did an open hand fight. In Vegas at the Orleans, and then someone there asked me if I want to fight in the UFC. Right before that, I had a conversation with John about, I love doing what we're doing. I love working out with you. I love training and fight kickboxing, but I got to go get a real job, man. My grandma's getting, waiting. When are you get a real job? When are you get you graduated? Go do your thing.
Take care of family. Yeah.
And I was like, and I think I still would have always done martial arts, but I was, I was thinking about it, and then that just, that catapulted me into mixed martial arts. All of a sudden, I got really excited about fighting. I'm like, oh, hey, I love this. And so we started, and good thing I made that choice.
Timing meets up with talent.
So I don't know if I ever told you this story, but this story to me is crazy. So you come to Tampa. I mean, I know you remember when you came to Tampa, and I picked you up, and this is Chuck. Jerry Rice was in the same hotel. Jerry Rice got in a limo. Chuck got in my Explorer, and we drove over to Pinellas Park, and we went to our gym. And so Chuck comes into the gym, and then we walk next door to a little, like a 7-Eleven type of place. And a car, I don't know if you remember this, but a guy comes running into the store. He drove over the median. He forgot to put the car in park, and he hit the store because he saw Chuck Liddell walking in.
You're kidding. Did he
Now, he might not know that.
No, but yeah, I get that all. People all the time.
I get that all the time. People are crashing into things, looking at me.
People we were at Disneyland, and someone like, come on, bro. Hey, hey, let me grab your kids. Their kids rolling away in a stroller. Like, wait, whoa. Hey, you can't. Here you go. Okay, now we take a picture, but
that is crazy.
Do you like that? I mean, do you mind that?
I don't mind it. Look, I got paid a lot of money to do what I love for a living, and fans are the reason why. And our fans are so genuine. I mean, most of them. I mean, don't get me wrong. I got some stupid stories of people doing stupid stuff, or people being entitled, but for 99% of the time, it's guys that really, truly, and are happy to see you. They're happy to get a picture. You made their day better, or they made their week better, whatever. And I mean, I don't get it sometimes, but if I was able to help you out, motivate you to get Pat through something or do something, hey man, it makes me happy.
What's the weirdest thing a fan has ever asked from you?
If you're cool to get in my Explorer and drive over to my gym in Pinellas Park.
That would be Randy. Outside of Randy,
Oh,
what's
yeah.
the oddest
The
thing that's ever happened? Or
man.
experience you've had with this band?
Oh, I don't know. There's a lot of really weird ones. I don't know which way you go with that.
Yeah.
But,
Hey, Chuck.
It's like you said.
I had a guy in front of my with the kid there, like go like, hey, can you sign my happy? And they pulled down his pants. He had it out on his ass.
What?
Did you sign it?
I'm like,
Dude, you're so
sure.
cool. Oh, I
Wow.
love it.
Wow.
He said, I'm gonna get it tattooed. I'm like, okay. I don't know if he ever did, but
I bet he did. Matt,
I bet he
Matt,
did.
do you have something?
Yeah. So Chuck, look, you were around when the UFC was, at the beginning stages. Guys were still working regular jobs and pursuing this dream of being a pro paid fighter. And now I know you're part of the ice barrel company, and recovery and how important it is to recover after fights. So have you been doing ice baths and those kind of therapies your whole career, or is this something you're doing later now as you're retired?
Actually, it started in 04 when I did Ultimate Fighter. They went in since I was on their insurance for the Ultimate Fighter. They had me go in and get checked for everything, and I went in to the doctor and he actually told me I think you need surgery on both knees because I had my MCLs. So after the season, I was supposed to get surgery on both knees, and I went into Curlin Joe, and they looked at me and they looked at me and they said, you know what? 5 years ago we would have definitely had surgery on those, but now I really like you to go home, ice after every workout, and jump in and then once before you go to bed, and see how you give a couple months and see how it is. And my knee stopped hurting, and I had a problem with my shoulders at the time. Both of them, my shoulder, I shot this one up 3 times and this one up twice with cortisone for fights because I couldn't. When I get real active in training for a fight, I couldn't lift it above here. Like when I fought Randleman, I couldn't do that. I didn't warm up to.
Wow.
And that's what I knocked out with. But I was like this. So I started icing. I said, well, maybe this will work for my shoulders. Now by 2004, I shot it up. This one up 3 times. This one up twice. By 2010, I never shot them up again. After icing every day, doing the ice bath, I was doing an ice bath every night. And after training, I do once in the morning, once at night, and I go in for ice to do 20 minutes. I think that's excessive now. They say you don't need that many, but I go do 20 minutes, and then in the morning I do 20 minutes, and then I go in the jacuzzi. And then at night I just do 20 minutes, go to bed.
How long does it take? All right, you're in there for 20 minutes. How long until you're numb and it's no longer cold?
It doesn't stop being cold.
Oh, so it stinks the whole 20 minutes.
I mean, and honestly, everyone's like, oh, you do it all the time. You're used to it. No, I hate it every time.
Do you do your whole body? Because your shoulders, you have to, right?
I would go under my neck.
Oh.
Crazy. Well, over your career, is there one fight that you kind of think of as that's the fight, that's the one?
Everyone, when they ask me that, I think if you put a gun to my head, it's right after Ultimate Fighter, right fighting Randy's the biggest crowd. And I avenged the loss, did it the way I like to do it. Did it how I thought I would do it. That was something we worked on, pivoting off and hitting that right hand. And it was a great opponent, and it was just that one. And I got the title I've been after for so long.
Right.
I finally had it.
Want to bring up? I would be wrong to not do it. Just the relationship that you had and we both had with Ryan Bennett. I still think of him often. I still think of, the things that you did with Ryan. And what do you think Ryan would, and I hate this type of question, but what Ryan would think where MMA is and where the UFC is now? Because he is supposed to be here with us as MMA is expanding.
Right. Yeah. That's sad. But yeah, I'm sure he expected us to get here. I sure he was like everyone. He's we probably shocked how far it went so fast, but yeah, it was a good time with him, man.
I didn't mean to bring it down, the conversation. It's just I felt we needed to talk about Ryan. I
haven't thought about him in a while. I
think about him often.
He was a good dude.
Yeah, I definitely think about him often. We're here at the Super Bowl. Obviously, the Rams and the Bengals. Give me your take. Give me your thoughts. How much of a football fan are you?
Well, I did a fantasy football show with Jay. You know that.
Right.
The last couple of years, I haven't had as much time because I've been busy doing stuff. I haven't watched as close. I haven't played fantasy this last 2 years. I played for like 25 years. I played back when we were doing it out of the paper. But so I haven't followed it as much. But I was following the playoffs pretty well, and Green Bay lost, and so I'm rooting for the Rams. That was my grandpa's team, and I think they got it. I mean, with Odell Beckham coming over,
I think they're the better team.
extra piece. I mean, we'll see. I mean, since he keeps pulling it out, but I think the Rams, unless barring some miracle, I think the Rams are going to win it.
Where do you think Rodgers is going to play next year? You think he'll stay in Green Bay, or is he going to Denver? Or
I want him to come to Tampa. I know it's not going to happen, but I just want him to come to Tampa. I think we get a Super Bowl again with Rodgers.
I don't know. I mean, it's hard to guess. I mean, I don't know if he. I mean, I don't know if he stays there. The 49ers, I don't know. That might be it.
Yeah, so I don't think he stays, but with the coach, going to Denver, I think that's one reason why he's the head coach of Denver now. You know how those backdoor things happen, and there's reasons.
Yeah. We'll take you if you can bring him with you.
Exactly. When was the last UFC you were at? Final couple questions. I know you're.
The last one I was at it wasn't long ago.
I mean, do you go to him, often?
I go to him all the time. As much as I can. I mean, I like to go to him. I mean, it was asking me, do you go to all the UFCs? I'm like, there's like
you can't.
Like 45 a year.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'd be traveling all the time.
What kind of, we could do this, for the next 16 weeks of these types of questions. But what kind of memorabilia did you keep? What did you keep of your long career?
It's funny as I go through some stuff. My sister lost a storage room, like storage locker a while back. And I think some people have some of my shorts. I have no idea.
Really?
Because they just
because they took it from your storage locker.
Storage locker, yeah.
Can we make a trip to your storage locker before I leave?
I don't know where the storage locker.
You don't know where it is.
No, it was closed. It was closed. I mean, she forgot about it. And
really?
Wow.
They seized it or whatever.
So it was one of those storage war things.
I found out about it because I had my Bogu helmet from when I was a kid, and I bought it at the Santa Maria thing for like $20. And it's like there's like a Bogu helmet that I used to wear when I would spar with back when I was doing karate when I was a kid. And someone saying it had my initials under it, and he was wearing that thing. The guy goes that I used to train with goes, "Wait, where'd you get that?" I got the thing in Santa Maria, and he's like, "Wait, is that? See, that's Chuck Liddell's. That's his helmet." And he actually offered to give it back to me. I said, "Hey, man, you using it?" So yeah, I said, "You can keep it." Man.
Oh, that was really nice of him to give it back.
Yeah,
that's really cool. Cool of you also to let him.
What's next for you? What's coming up? What's any movie roles? Any?
I'm working on some stuff. I'm trying to get back into doing some movies now. I mean, I had a few things like lined up during COVID, and they just kind of fell through. So, trying to get that going. We're gonna do a little stuff. We're working on some stuff with some charity stuff with do the E3 Ranch stuff with those guys. Like getting out there and doing some stuff with the veterans out there.
Then you do a lot with Jay Glazer and his veteran thing, right?
Definitely work with Jay and MVP, and that's been going great. Those guys are awesome.
Very cool. Well, I appreciate you coming out. I know it was a long line to get through. Now we've learned a few things, but I appreciate it. It's great seeing you.
Oh, thanks for having me. Always.
And love the USA jersey. Just want to mention he's wearing one.
Absolutely. All right, let's go hit a break. Coming to you live from Radio Row. This is Knockout Radio.